It's YouTube, babies. So today's National Wing Day. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
So Wingstop is doing like five free boneless.
Oh shit. I actually had Wingstop yesterday.
Oh
I was
man.
a day early.
Yeah. You should have like retroactively try to like cash that in.
I know.
They're like, you didn't even get boneless. You got sandwiches, you weirdo.
I know we've talked about it before, dude, but I fucking love Wingstop.
Yeah, same dude. What's your go-to sauce though?
I really, really like their mild.
Yeah. I get so I normally get mango habanero. And I got that on my boneless today, but then I was a chonky boy and I got some other wings and I got bone-in wings and I got I'll get the Cajun. And that one's like on the scale. Like mango habanero is the second hottest. And then it's the Cajun. But boy, that Cajun every time it kicks my ass so much harder than that mango.
See, I can't do that level of hot, unfortunately. It just
Yeah.
messes up my tone.
Yeah. You got a little
Brielle,
sensitive tum tum.
I do. Brielle likes the barbecue, which is good.
Oh,
So we'll
it's real
usually
good.
split it and do half barbecue, half mild, and then get
Yeah.
the lemon pepper fries.
I'm not like I had the lemon pepper wings there because like you always hear like NBA players be like, "Oh, lemon pepper wings, they're the best." And I'm just like, I had them like, this is not for me, guys. And LeBron's like, "Really? You didn't like it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's please stop texting me. I'm not a fan."
Yeah, the I wouldn't get it on the wings, but it's just seasoning on fries and
Yeah,
it's much better that way.
I gotcha. Okay, so I want to talk about like movies I watched this weekend that aren't the one we're gonna do a separate pod about. But I saw this movie Abigail, which I don't know if you've seen that advertised at
Oh,
all.
the like doll movie.
No, that's Megan with a like a in
Oh, okay.
three.
Sorry.
No, you're good. This one I don't really want to spoil anything because it's like the trailers already did it, but but like if no one had seen the trailer and they just saw like they're on Peacock and they want to watch like a horror thriller, it's pretty dope. But I already knew what was gonna happen going in because it's just like the trailers show it and it's fucking like it's such a cool twist. It's like they should have done like they did Cabin in the Woods though, where like the trailers showed you nothing with Cabin in the Woods, and when you watch it, you're like, what in the hell is going on? And then
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I I saw the trailer for this and I
okay.
thought this looks fucking awesome. I want to see it, but also I am a puss when it comes to scary movies. So I was like, I don't know if it'll be too scary for me.
I mean, I think there might be some scenes that might make you jump, but it's really just kind of like a cool vampire movie more than anything else. Like, I mean, it's gruesome. Like, there's lots of blood. If you're like, no blood for me, then, probably shouldn't watch a vampire movie.
Yeah, no, I do want to watch that. And after now that I know that you liked it, I will give it a shot. But uh it had Dan Stevens in it, who was Legion. He was also in Downton Abbey. So I'm a
Okay.
huge fan of him. I know he's in it. And then a guy I hadn't seen in forever was Kevin Kevin Durand, not Durant, but he was big like when we were in high school.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think what's something that he would have been in that you would know. Oh, uh X-Men Origins Wolverine. He was Blob. You remember him?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy. I think I'm pretty sure he was in that too.
Okay.
So,
It's, like I said, it's pretty cool. The one downside is, I mean, they put a lot of money into like the special effects and the blood, but it just seems like they did not put much money in the vampire teeth.
really.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, like, there's not a lot of movies where they get that good,
Hmm.
so it's kind of a tough, it is what it is. And then the other movie, Nick let me borrow Psycho Gorman, which it's like special effects wise, I'd put it on par with like Power Rangers. Like, it's like that same type of where it's like rubber suits when they hit it, like kind of it does that like spark explode, that type of stuff. But it's like it
Yeah.
follows these two kids around. The girl is just like a real asshole. And like at first I'm like, I kind of hate her. And then like as it goes on, I'm like, she's fucking hilarious. But they dug up this like this giant like they just found this like thing and it was this monster's tomb and she hits hits the code just right and she gets the stone that controls them, but like the monster doesn't want to be controlled by her. He wants to cause chaos, but she'll tell him to do stuff and he has to do it. And like there's one part where they're like making him stay at this factory because they don't want their parents to know. And this was like one of the funniest parts in the movie to me. And she's like, "Oh, we brought you some stuff," and like 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 here's a magazine, and he's like, "I don't want any of this." Like, but there's hunky guys in it. Don't you like hunky guys? And he's like, "No." And then like he looks at it, he's like, "Maybe I do like hunky guys."
That's hilarious.
And then like later on they're fighting and the magazine gets destroyed and he's like, "My hunky boys."
That's awesome.
And like so yeah, that movie was really fun too if you like just fucking silly damn near fever dream movies. That's one I would recommend. And then the last movie I want to talk about, which haven't seen, I just need to buy it off Amazon, but it's like one of those movies I've been meaning to talk to you about because I think you would like it a lot because it's like a lot of the aesthetic that you like plus a dragon.
Hmm.
But it's called Orochi, the Eight-Headed Dragon. I think I probably said that wrong, but it was a Toho film made in the Heisei era, and the monster looks a lot like King Ghidorah, and it takes place in like feudal Japan. It's based off of the legend of Orochi, the Eight-Headed Dragon. And but then like I guess the director when he was making it was like, I want to make this movie seem like how did he word it? It was like if the people in that era made a movie that they from their like what they would assume the future would be. So there's like weird stuff that never would have happened, like they had laser swords and shit. But it still looks like feudal Japan. And I mean, I'm like, this, it sounds neat. And I guess Orochi's barely in it, though. That's like one of the things. And then it bombed so bad in Japan, though. They were like, uh, Toho was like, yeah, we were going to do another King Ghidorah movie against Godzilla, but that's scrapped now because no one wants to see a multi-headed dragon, apparently.
Except for this guy.
Yeah, I mean, except for everybody.
That'd be I Googled it and Orochi looks dope.
Right. I guess he only shows up at the end though, because it's like I think he's supposed to, the way I understand it, is he's supposed to be like a god or a magician, bad guy that the main character has to fight, and like it's like supposed to be like a boss fight in a video game where like you beat him once and then he transforms, and it's like it's basically that.
Gotcha. I'll have to check it out sometime.
Yeah. I need to, like I said, I want to buy it just because I'm like, I like Toho movies for the most part.
Yeah.
And this one's got a big old monster in it, so that works.
That fits the bill for you.
Yeah. I'm I'm pretty easy to please.
I've got one quick story.
All right.
If you're done talking about your
Yeah, man.
movies. Okay. I there was like a group of teenagers that came in the shop last week and the one kid he was just like I think the identity trope in comics is just weird. Like everyone should just know who these heroes are. I'm like, nah. Like he was talking to his friend. I had no
Hmm.
part in this conversation, but I'm thinking, I don't know, I think that's kind of fucking stupid that you
Yeah.
think that way. Like if everybody knew who you were and you were a superhero, they would murder your whole
Hmm.
family. It's kind of been
100%.
discussed in hundreds of comics. So, but he said he just kept saying the trope is just weird. The trope is just weird over and over. I'm like, man,
I mean,
you
I
just
blame
don't read
MCU for
comics.
that.
Yeah, I mean, it was very clear this kid did not read comics.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Because yeah, I mean, MCU's really hurt, in my opinion, the secret, the secret identity stuff, because it's like only one that has one is Peter Parker that I can
and
think
even
of.
barely, because every scene he gets, he's
Yeah. But I mean, at least now no one even knows who he is, so it works out.
yeah, that's true. Anyway, that was all. Just thought it was funny.
Yeah. Kids these days.
I know. All right, shall we?
Shall we?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Two Worlds Podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the rabbit to my Zatanna. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. What's up with you?
Ready to pod, man?
Hell yeah.
We will be doing a special episode about our thoughts on Deadpool and Wolverine. So if you just check, our page once a week for the regular episode, just want everyone to keep their eyes open for that if you care about our opinions on that movie.
Yep.
So,
It's gonna be spoiler filled though, so
yeah,
just understand that.
yeah. See it before, or if you just don't care, then you can listen, but
Yeah.
be warned.
And then also we have an affiliate code with Super 7, and I got a package from them this week. So
Nice.
I'm not gonna show you what's in it. But here's the box. I'm gonna do an unboxing because I got all the stuff behind me that I still need to do unboxings for. So
Nice.
I'll be doing that hopefully this week, and then who knows when I'll post it. But we'll get through it that way.
Excellent. I'm
And
excited to
also use
see.
our affiliate code. Like it's in the link in our bio and all that stuff.
Yeah. Help us out. Throw us a
Yeah.
bone.
Yeah. And I mean it's good quality stuff, guys. Come on.
Casey has literally so much of it,
Yeah,
and I
I
have some
mean
of it.
I don't have that much just because it's like the Godzilla stuff is new. You know what I mean? Like they haven't been doing it for years, so I'm slowly getting more and more.
Yeah. All right. We do have some comments. One came from Eric. It was from a couple weeks ago. He says the series that I would love a continuation of are Paul Dini's run of Zatanna, John Ostrander's run of Suicide Squad, or even Robbie Thompson's run, which was cut too short. More Peter David Young Justice and Mike Grell Green Arrow. I'd be okay with any of those personally.
Yeah. I don't know anything about the Green Arrow, but the rest of them, absolutely.
Yeah.
The Young Justice one, I know Nick got really happy about too.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And then that Paul Dini Zatanna, I kind of forgot about it, but that was such a good series.
Yeah, I never got to read it when it was coming out, but I picked up they just put out a new collection of that
Oh,
entire
nice.
series, so I picked that up.
Nice. How many issues is that? Because I didn't get to read the whole thing because I think Charleston kind of stopped getting it, or they weren't getting huge numbers of it.
I think it was less than 12, but
Okay.
um that would have been 2010, I think. 16.
Okay. That's a pretty beefy book then that you got. Yeah, you would have got.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's a better value than trying to hunt down the single issues that are
I'm
all
sure.
$10+ each, but the ones that there's a few where Adam Hughes does the covers, and those are like around 100 each.
Yeah. Dude, that's one of the things with single issues that like I kind of I kind of hate that more than like, like when I was collecting Thunderstrike and trying to find them and I had to pay like a little bit more for like one of the issues that I was like, ah, whatever. But then like with when it's just kind of like, oh yeah, these ones are, aren't as expensive, just one, but like getting more of them, it's like, yeah, that a little bit more annoying trying to collect single issues like that.
I agree. I usually won't try to do it too much unless it's, like a maxi series.
Yeah.
Unless it's just a book that you're like in too deep on at some point, because then it's
Hmm.
like, well, fuck, I might as well.
If it's for you, Nightwing, you're just like, I just have
Yep.
to.
Yep. Thankfully, I had all the expensive ones way early on.
Yeah.
And even now, I wouldn't say that anything's too crazy except for the number one.
Hmm.
But all right. And then next, speaking of Nick, it's from Nick. It says, let's see. I forget what the Fantastic Four would have been, but
Was that the artist one? Like what
oh yeah, it
artist?
must have been. It must have been.
Uh,
He says, one, Kevin Eastman on Judge Dredd. Two, Mike Mignola on Godzilla. That'd be pretty good. Three, Daniel Warren Johnson doing one Sync story. And then four, Alex Ross on Vampirella.
so I'm
Think
just
those are
gonna say
solid.
this with the Mike Mignola ones. He during quarantine, he was doing quarantine draws,
Yep.
and he actually did draw Godzilla.
Yep. I remember that. It's
And
awesome.
then yeah, and then he also did, and this is mostly just for Nick, but he did a Gigan and then there's a King Kong here, and then there's Anguirus. And it looks like Gigan's fighting Hellboy, King Kong's with, posing with Hellboy, and then I'm not sure who it's a robot, not Hellboy. So someone from the
Yeah,
Mignola universe, but looks pretty sweet.
absolutely. All right. Thank you, Nick. And then the last one is from Preston. He says, "Hey dudes, loved hearing that you guys enjoyed X-Men number one the other week. I finally got mine in, and so far I really like how it feels a bit more grounded. Previously, they were bouncing around Earth, Krakoa, Mars, and even the afterlife. Now they're chilling in Alaska, rebuilding a very cool spot for a new HQ. I was a bit put off by the beast design at first, but it's growing on me. 9 out of 10 would recommend. Also, if you see a character and are thinking to yourself, aren't they dead? Just remember that on Krakoa, they were able to resurrect almost any mutant. The ending had me thinking of a question for you guys. How do you feel? Oh, this is a touchy topic right now. How do you feel about using QR codes in comics? Not in the way that they have them in ads, but like in the story. The ending of X-Men 1 just seemed to leave the last page out for us to look at it on our phones. I've seen it done well with Ninja Funk, where they would have it hidden in the art and it would launch a website for a song made to tie in with the comic, which was super fucking neat. I can't, however, remember another time anyone used QR codes in their comics. Do you have any that you remember? And what's your feelings on them being used? Love you. Bye. Okay, Preston. So I fucking hate it personally. Um, what's his name? Uh, whoever's in charge at Marvel Comics, like the publisher. I don't remember. I don't think it was Casada. It's like, one of those guys
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, well, we're not actually taking anything out. It's just like one bonus page at the end." It's like it's not though, because it's part of the story. Like you're like even if it's the 24th page out of a 23-page comic, it's still pretty fucking annoying that we would have to use the QR code to read that page. I didn't do it for X-Men because I didn't know what the QR code was really. I
Yeah.
just happened to see online, oh, if you didn't follow the QR code, here's what you missed on X-Men number one. Well, Marvel has caught a shit ton of uh crap for that. and they've walked back on it and said that they're not going to do it going forward, but it was always planned to be that way. It was going to be a limited time thing. And I'm like, yeah, sure it was. But
Yeah.
anyway, you can now speak about it.
Uh, I didn't know that was a thing either, so I need to kind of look at that because yeah, I had no clue. It sounds really dumb, but so in I Hate Fairyland, they had a one of the issues they had a code so that it could play the like because there was like a musical type thing, it was like the musical issue, and that works. Like doing the stuff like silly stuff like that that doesn't add to the story, fine, whatever. But I mean, I'll say this too. I'm gonna get on my high horse because Marvel really likes to appeal to, different groups, and then they're being very I don't know what the term would be, but like an ist towards people that don't have a smartphone. Like, come on, you gotta treat everyone equally, guys. You can't like what are these guys gonna do? They don't have smartphones. They just like to read their comics the old school way, and now you're just taking from them. It's not fair. I mean, who can afford
Agreed.
a fucking smartphone with $5 comics too, Marvel? Come on.
I actually have a couple older guys for customers that still have their flip phones. So
Yeah, like when my grandpa was still alive, he had a flip phone, and it was like always kind of like there was one time, and this is just a really funny story. He was getting into like an argument with these people that like it was the Frontier Internet
hmm
because we're digging a water line, and when they went through, they accidentally cut like the phone line, and
hmm
so Frontier came out and they fixed it, and they wanted to charge him over $700 because all the guy did was solder the two lines together and then left. Nothing. Like anyone could do it, but since it was like because they had an engineering fee, and he's like, I'm not paying that engineering fee. That's bullshit. And they're like, no, you have to, sir. And he's like, no, I don't. I'm gonna report you to Better Business Bureau. Like I was like driving him, he was like, I'm gonna report you to the Better Business Bureau. And I'm 90 years old. I'll be dead before any of this has to come up anyway. And then he just flips it shut, hangs up. It's like, oh, what a
The
baller.
flip.
Yeah. It just like that's like gotta be kind of like a lot nicer than just be like, like that's
Right.
not as satisfying as the flip shot.
Absolutely. That's great.
Like yeah,
What a fucking hoss.
like when he hit 90, there's so many times where he's like, I'm 90 years old. I can do whatever I want.
Uh, all right. Well, there you go, Preston. I appreciate the question. That was a good question.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I think it's totally fine when it's like adding music or something. But when it's a story page, fuck you.
How cool would it be though? Because I mean, I'm not a huge fan of these, but how cool would it be if to give the creators a little bit extra money if like each issue that Marvel does, they just did like a fucking commentary. So you could have the two people like so you as you're kind of looking through, it's just like, yeah, here I was thinking of them doing this, but my writer or my artist did it this way and it looks way better, that type of shit. I'm like, that could be fun.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But rarely is it something like that.
Yeah.
He's
She
waving at you.
yeah, she never waves back.
All right. So yes, now it's on to the news. San Diego Comic-Con was this week, so there's a lot to talk about. I pretty much sniped everything from Casey. So
Yeah.
Casey, I'll let you do yours and then we'll just plow through my list.
So yeah, we got the first look at the Creature Commandos, the upcoming animated movie. Did you watch it?
Um, I didn't see the whole thing. I saw like a clip on Twitter, but
Yeah.
not because I didn't want to. I just didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. It looked like the humor in it is just like a lot of the animation, like the Adult Swim type. Like that's how it felt, like Adult Swim type cartoon humor, and like a lot of that doesn't hit for me. And so like it didn't look that funny that way, but the voice actors are there and this was mostly just kind of like the trailer's mostly just them going like, this is the plot. we're not going to show you much of anything else, that type of thing. So it's like it's hard to tell one way or the other if it's going to be good, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine I will end up watching it regardless.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. I guess I'll just go down the my list as I have it because the last thing on there, we've already had some people ask about our opinions, and I was like, we'll talk about it on the pod, don't you worry. So the first thing, we've got Dynamite is going to start publishing new DuckTales comics and also Thundar the Barbarian comics.
I mean, I'm interested in the Thundar. It's going to depend on the week that comes out, but that could be pretty cool. I mean, you're the one that'd be more apt to read the DuckTales. Would you check that out?
I mean, probably not. I love
Okay.
the DuckTales cartoon. I'm
Hmm.
just reading so much. It's like, do I
I hear
really
you.
need a DuckTales comic?
That's kind
But
of how I feel with
I
Thundar.
think it's cool regardless.
Yeah. It'd be hilarious if it's like we got James Tynion on DuckTales.
It's like, all right, fuck it, I'll read it. All right, and then so this week there was a new EC comic. EC like the Golden Age EC comics.
Okay.
They had a revival that started this week, or well, it would have been last week at this point. Um, they weren't bought by Oni, but whoever bought EC is partnering with Oni Press to put them out. The first one, I didn't have a lot of like pre-orders, but I ordered a couple handfuls for the shelf and ended up selling out of it. So EC announced in San Diego that they're going to be doing more EC comics going forward, and one of them is going to be uh, it's just called Dark Fantasy. It's a dark fantasy comic, and it's going to be written by Al Ewing and Chris Condon. Condon did That Texas Blood, if you remember hearing about that. It wrapped
No.
up like last year. It was like an image book, I think. But anyway, it was like a Western crime comic, and so he's teaming up with Al to do this dark fantasy. I will be reading at least the first one
I
because
figured you would.
that's my favorite genre of all
Yep.
time. So cannot wait for that. They're also doing like a new suspense stories. Like that was a big EC title back in the day, so they're gonna do another one of those. I'm pretty sure maybe Jason Aaron. It's like another like really big name is working on it.
And Jason Aaron, he's like how people will say like Snoop Dogg's doing side quests. He's pretty much like in the comic book industry. He's like, I've done everything I want. Now I'm just doing side quests.
Which is great for him. I feel like
Yeah.
he must be having the best time of his career.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of stuff I'm absolutely picking up, IDW is doing a crazy crossover that I really never saw coming. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Naruto. And that crossover comic is coming out in October. It's going to be written by Caleb Golner with art by Henry Presetya. The cover looked so fucking cool. It's just the turtles and Naruto. I don't know what the story's gonna be. It looks like when Naruto was still a kid, not like the Shippuden era where everyone's grown up
Hmm.
and stuff. So
That's how you have to do it.
yeah, for
But
sure. So I'm very excited. Love Naruto. I like the turtles enough, so it's gonna be cool.
mhm.
Um, well, I guess I should ask, is that anything you're interested in?
Not really. I can never get into Naruto mostly because of the dubbing.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I don't know if you've watched any of the dub,
A little
but
bit.
the voice actor for Naruto is the worst fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I watched like one or two episodes, but I was mostly the sub all the way through.
Yeah.
All right. Um, So Dark Horse Comics got Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering licenses from Boom and IDW. So they announced that they're going to start new comics for both of those series debuting in the summer of 2025. Um, I liked the IDW D&D stuff quite a bit, so I'm excited to see what Dark Horse does. I'll definitely be checking out whatever they put out.
Hmm.
Um, and then the Magic Boom title did okay. So but it only ran for like a year and a half. So curious what Dark Horse will do there as well. I'm not a Magic the Gathering guy personally, but I know that tons of people still play that. I'm sure the hype will be there.
Well, I mean, as a story though, because I don't know shit about Magic the Gathering except for like they have some Godzilla cards that look cool as hell. But
And Lord of the Rings.
and Doctor Who and like Evil Dead, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna pay for these, but these are awesome. But I mean, like it's mostly more of your fantasy that you love though. So like in a story
Yeah.
form, would you still check it out, or are you gonna be, you know, like it's a little too weird with some of the stuff. I don't want Godzilla and Ash from Evil Dead fighting Frodo.
Yeah. I mean, I probably won't, but if it's a light week and Dan Waters is writing it, then I'll probably pick it
I
up.
gotcha. Or they get like the person that draws the cards to do the interiors.
Yeah, it'd be tough to turn down. They'll get the people that draw the cards to do the covers for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Former DC executives are launching a new comic publishing company called Panic Entertainment. Panic is spelled Panick. And all of those comics are going to focus on horror and sci-fi. That's the second story we've had in the last 6 months about a new publishing company, pretty much focusing on horror and sci-fi. So we'll see how it turns out for them. No titles or creative teams announced as of yet, but could be cool, I guess.
I mean, I'm never gonna be mad that more and more comic book publishers are getting made because
Yeah.
like that's just gonna make everything better. I mean,
Hmm.
there might be some shit that comes out from them, but it's like, you won't have to struggle through just the main two and when they're really fucking bad.
Yeah, I agree. And they'll probably retain their rights and stuff like that too. So,
Hmm. Yeah, it's always that type of stuff's just always better for the creators. If you have, more stuff and all that, it's just yeah.
yes. But if you see something that you want, let your local comic shop know, please. Because they might not always take a
Or if you're
chance on
not
stuff like that.
if you're not local, there's a hell of a shop though on Telegraph Road in St. Louis that will gladly order it and send it to you.
Yes,
They're called
absolutely.
Comic Headquarters, I think.
I think that's what they're called. Um, all right. So we finally got Giancarlo Esposito's role revealed at San Diego this week, Casey. I don't know the exact name, but it was the king question mark of the Serpent Society.
Yeah, I think it wasn't it Sidewinder. Was it Sidewinder was his
Yeah,
name?
Sidewinder. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's the big reveal that nobody had guessed yet. So
Yeah. I
what'd you
can't
think?
wait for the Disney Plus Sidewinder show.
I know, dude. We'll see if it actually gets made, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, I'll say this. I'm actually like we've talked about it a couple weeks ago. I'm actually looking forward to Brave New World. I think the trailer looks pretty good. Esposito is an older guy, It's just
Hmm.
like how much action are we going to get out of it? And I
Right.
felt I felt the same way with um oh my gosh, the gal that plays Ahsoka and Claire in Daredevil. What was her
Oh yeah,
name?
Rosario Dawson.
Yes, Rosario Dawson. Thank you. And that turned out fine in Ahsoka. So I'm not saying it can't be done. It's just it's always in the back of my mind, you know.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna be fine. He's pretty awesome.
He
Like,
is.
and you know, my that movie I'm like worried about just because after hearing about all of the reshoots and stuff. And then it's also the same thing of being like, we have to raise the stakes. Washington gets destroyed, you know, like that type of shit. I'm like, this could have been really like a really cool spy type movie with, you know,
Like
Falcon
Winter
do
Soldier.
yeah, like even I mean even that one had the huge like thing falling from the sky destroying stuff. Like it's like you guys could just make this a smaller thing. Like you don't have to end of the world threat every single time, guys.
Yeah.
They're like, it's not end of the world, it's just Washington,
Yeah, it's
D.C.
only our nation's capital. All right. Alyssa Wong, and I am gonna butcher this name. Vincenzo Karatu are doing a Psylocke comic. I don't know why it got pasted in there twice, but it is what it is.
You just really
Uh,
wanted to, you know, hammer that home.
I did. And I knew that this series was coming because Art Germ posted a Psylocke cover that didn't have like the trade dress on it. It was
Hmm.
just the picture, and I'm like, okay, well, either that's like a variant for X-Men or they're doing a Psylocke mini. And but anyway, they're doing a Psylocke mini. Casey and I both like Alyssa Wong. You know, like we just said a minute ago, it depends on the week whether or not I will try this out because I like Alyssa Wong. She made me like another character that I didn't think I'd ever give a shit about. So maybe she could do the same about Psylocke. But yeah, there you go. I will at least be getting that Art Germ cover.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna check it out because Alyssa Wong for me is like an eight, like just like I'll go like an 8.5. And like an 8.5 writer, I'm gonna probably pick up 9 times out of 10, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I like her and I'm okay with Psylocke. Like I've not read a huge amount because I'm just never been a big X-Men guy, but I she was like they had 616 Psylocke in when Chris Claremont took over Exiles, which that run sucked, but because he was basically just like, I just want Sabretooth and Psylocke. Every other character that you like, I'm pushing them aside, except for the weird Gambit Namer, because Namer was also Black Panther and he banged Sue and they had a kid that was Gambit Namer.
Okay.
It's like you could just call him something else. Like he doesn't.
Hey, hey, Chris, what you doing, buddy?
It's like you could just you don't have to do and it was one of those characters too where it was like it was very much like, oh yeah, he's really weak when we need him to be and really strong when we need him to be. And like same thing with Sabretooth. Like Sabretooth gets his ass kicked and then it's just like, I'm actually really tough now. Like, oh, what happened? Riding.
Yeah, I mean, I also haven't read much X-Men, but the X-Men that I've read the most was Rick Remender's X-Force, which did have Psylocke, and she was really cool in it.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's enough there for me to be interested in this book, I
Hmm.
guess is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, and then I also remember playing Children of the Atom, and she was on there, and I remember very young Casey going, I like girls.
Fair enough. All right. This was one that I was not expecting. Jeff Lemire and Diego Olortegui are launching a new JSA comic for DC. So, you know, Jeff said he had some big things coming up. I was not expecting anything at the big two, let alone a book that I'm absolutely going to read because it's
Hmm.
JSA and it's Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, that should be pretty exciting. What is your if you had to say your dream JSA team that you would be like, oh, I'd really like to see these guys.
The thing is, like, I really like those two generations, like the OG generation and the one that Jeff and James Robinson
Mhm.
wrote. So I really want, and there's been a cover revealed. So like the team's out there. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
remember who it all is, but I know Our Man's on there, which is good because he's absolutely there. But Our Man,
Which Iron Man? The black robe or the yellow? Probably yellow.
no, I like the black robe. That's it's Rex and Rick.
I
I,
think
I
I think Rex is the younger one.
okay.
I
Yeah,
think.
Rex is Rick's son and the one that was with Liberty Bell.
Yeah.
And I like that couple a lot. So it would be Rex. And then Dr. Fate, Liberty Bell, Hawkman, Sandman, and then I like Alan and Jay being there too. So there's my 7-person team
Right
right
on.
there. And I'm probably missing somebody that I think is cool, but
Yeah. Now, which Sandman would you go with though? The original, or would you get the that new one that what was he like his grandson or something?
yeah, or nephew maybe, Sandy.
Okay.
Um, Sandy was fine. Obviously, I'm a Wesley boy at heart, but I don't know that they would do that after like night terrors and everything like that. So we'll just
Hmm.
have to see. We'll just have to see what the vibe is, I guess, you know?
Yeah. Ooh, vibes on my team.
Oh, yeah? Interesting. Go ahead and answer it though. Like if you could pick
Um,
7 members.
so yeah, I mean, like I would have said Mr. Terrific because he just for me is like one that's kind of but I'm like he's kind of in a lot of stuff now. So I don't know if
The
we need a
original white one?
oh no. No, he's long gone forever.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, you have to do Alan, you have to do Jay, and Wildcat is like a
Oh,
no-brainer for
yeah.
me. I love Wildcat. I think he's
Yeah.
super cool. And I always liked Black Canary on there. So I think that'd be
Yeah.
fun if they brought her back in. Stargirl
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, there's a lot that I'm like, this guy would be cool. Who was the other? I'm trying to think because it's like Alan and Jay, and who would be the third that would be like their third? Like, because I know they had a Trinity group too. Would it be Mr. Terrific? Maybe Hawkman.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely Hawkman.
Okay,
Definitely
then
Hawkman.
Hawkman for sure, and probably just toss in Hawk Girl, and then we got the whole group or Hawk
Yeah.
Woman. Which one? Which one's his wife? Because I know there's Hawk
Woman.
Girl. Okay, yeah, he's not gonna be married to a girl. He's a man.
Hawkwoman's cooler anyways, in my opinion. That might be a hot take for Justice League cartoon fans, but I always liked Hawkwoman better.
Dude, I'm just gonna say this when it comes to Justice League like Justice League cartoon, Hawk Girl, I could not stand her because she was just a walking plot device or a flying plot device where it's just like, hey, I'm gonna use my mace and destroy this thing that Superman couldn't. Okay. And then the next episode's like, there's this guy, he's just a human, but he's kind of tough and he beat me up. It's like you you beat up Dr. Fate, lady. It's like, yeah, but this guy, he's Copperhead. He's really tough.
Yeah, I totally get that. Another one that I thought about, Jakeem Thunder. I always thought he
Oh
was pretty
yeah.
cool. So
It is. It's such a neat concept, but it's also one of those things. I think that's one I wouldn't be surprised if Jeff used because it's, get weird quick and he likes to do that.
he does. Dude, honestly, a Jakeem Thunder book written and drawn by Jeff Lemire, I think would go crazy.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. I'm just glad it's not fucking Jeff Johns. It's a good Jeff, right? Like
Yeah.
It's a series that's going to come out on time and not take 2 years for 12 issues. That series is still not done,
That's what I was
Casey.
about to ask. I was like, is that done yet?
No, there's either 1 or 2 issues left. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Jeez Louise.
Okay. And then, oh boy, I've been excited to talk about this one, buddy. Ram V and Evan Cagle, the team behind Dawn Runner, is doing a fucking New Gods comic.
That's gonna be wild.
Dude, the art is going to be off the fucking chain. I cannot
Hmm.
wait for this. Do you have any interest in this?
I mean, I'm gonna probably check out at least the first issue because I love Ram B. But I'm like, I have a feeling it's gonna be kind of like Detective Comics, where I'm like, this is gonna be better collected.
It might be. The difference is if it is like Detective, it's gonna be a bunch of fourth world stuff that most people that aren't fourth world fans don't know, but
Hmm.
that I do.
Yeah,
So it'll be better for me than some other people.
yeah.
But dude, I saw Evan Cagle announce this on Instagram and I was like, "Are you fucking serious?" And I went and looked it up and sure enough there was the full announcement. So I really can't wait for this. I'm
Yeah.
so hyped.
I think it's gonna, like I said, I think should be pretty good. I hope they don't go too weird. Like like I don't know, like Orion has depression and it's just about that, kind of like it'd be a miracle if something like that happened.
That was funny. Um, yeah, Evan Cagle, like whenever he posted on Instagram, he posted his character design for Orion with it. And I'll send it to you real
All
quick.
right.
But it's like, man, he's gonna do all of that New Gods tech like so well.
How does he draw hair though? Because it's Jack Kirby drew some hairy boys with that. So, we gotta make sure the manes look good.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Okay. Ooh, think about Chichetto doing a new, like just a Calabac book.
I'd
Just
love
that fucking
that.
hair on that.
Yeah. Now, Casey, we're always asking, where's the beef? The beef is on Orion.
Yeah, it looks good.
So I'm excited. And that's just like his character design, not like a finished this is gonna be in the book thing. And I'm like, sir,
Yeah.
you are extremely talented.
Yeah. No, I dig
But
it.
so
I kind of miss like and this was a thing that, they did with New 52, his New 52 design, which was in the corner. I prefer it having more yellow than just red
yeah,
on
I get
Orion.
that. I get that. Who knows? I mean, maybe that's not even the finished one,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
All right, and then the biggest news, it's been all over the internet if you've been on the internet in the last 2 days. Robert Downey Jr. will be playing Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday. He came out and did a very Iron Man reveal
Hmm.
in his Doctor Doom costume. Um, I think it's pretty fucking dumb, man. But where are you at with it?
I mean, it's stupid. Like, it's just 100% like how actually you said this last week. They're just trying to do what made them money, get the people back that made the money last time. And that's what they're doing. They're just going, but instead of doing something that, people would like to see, which would be, Superior Iron Man, I think people would actually prefer that versus him just being Doctor Doom.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I think it's pretty stupid.
I had I had legitimately 5 texts from 5 different people the night that was announced. That was
Yeah.
like, so is he like Tony, but he's gonna be Doom? Is he like a brand new character? Like, no, like everybody's
Yeah.
confused. Everybody's confused. Very bizarre choice.
Hmm.
Um, it's absolutely just a cash grab. they're scrambling because Jonathan Majors and Kang is not happening. They say they're gonna tie that up in this movie.
Yeah, because they had because that's one of the funny things. I guess they went out of their way to be like every Kang version looks like Jonathan Majors, and then they're like, oh fuck. But they are. I've heard they've recast Kang, so he'll probably be killed by Doom pretty quick.
I don't know why they didn't just go with that immediately. They recasted Rhodey, they
Hmm.
recasted Banner. Just recast Kang. He's a
Yeah,
fucking purple and green alien, you
yeah.
know?
Hmm.
He doesn't have to just look like Jonathan Majors.
Or okay, so you've seen movies before, right?
Maybe one or two.
Okay. So you know how in a lot of movies, like Ocean's 11, they'll be like, I got this mask that makes me look, me, George Clooney, looks exactly like Drew Barrymore. Just get a Jonathan Majors mask.
Yeah, it's as easy as that.
Yeah, or dude, actually deepfakes are a thing. You could just do that. They're
Or hear
like,
me
yeah,
out. Hear me out. Cast Drew Barrymore as Kang.
ooh, that's the best variant.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go, folks. We think it's dumb. It's a
Yeah.
cash grab. It's stupid. I don't know why they would do this.
You do. You just said money.
Yeah, I know, but like, how can they in good faith sit there and be like, this is what we're gonna do? Feige's like, we need Robert Downey Jr. back. We need the Russos back.
We're gonna get Chris Evans back and probably Black Widow. I'm already calling it now. Maybe not her. I mean, like, because for sure Chris Evans and like Thor's not going anywhere. Like he's just gonna come back. Like Hemsworth has even said, like he's the one actor that does superhero movies and like loves them.
Hmm.
Like everyone else is like, oh, I'm too good for this shit. And he's like, I hate when people say that. So yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna be back. So they're gonna get their big three back, and I wouldn't be surprised if Black Widow and the rest of the original Avengers come back because it's like that's what they're gonna try to make money off of it.
Hmm. It's been long enough since Endgame.
Hmm.
Too many things have failed. Like, all right, let's make money again.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool though. 20 years from now, or nah, he's still like, oh, let's say 50 years from now when they're still making these movies, and Chris Evans is actually old enough to be old man Cap, then he can do that without the weird special effects, you know?
Right. I know. It's very much like a joke that was made in Deadpool.
Yeah.
But anyway, there you go. That is the news. I think this was actually overall a pretty great San Diego Comic-Con like
Yeah.
announcement week. Lots of good stuff. The only thing that I was shaking my head at was that last one.
Right. All right, man. What'd you read this week?
I read Batman the Dark Age #4, Ninja Turtles #1, Zatanna Bring Down the House #2, Vengeance of the Moon Knight #7, The Sacrificers #10, and Green Arrow #14.
Alrighty. So I read the Flash. I got caught up on the Flash, issue 11. Godzilla Skate or Die, issue 2. Creature from the Black Lagoon, issue 4. Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 2, issue 4. Teenage Mutant Turtles, #1. Batman Dark Age, book 4. And Zatanna, Bring Down the House, book 2. I think I have one more than you, so let's get us.
You do, but real quick, I haven't read it yet, but I did get Masters of the Universe Revolution #3 this week, and I got the B cover by Andrew McLean.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah, he
He
does a very good job.
he would do a really good job on the art on a
Hmm.
on a He-Man book.
Agreed.
He draws his beefy boys really well.
He does.
All right, so The Flash issue 11 by Cy Spurrier. and I think it's Ramon Perez. I gotta find it though. Um, but yeah, like I was behind 2 issues on this. Yeah, it's Ramon Perez. I was behind 2 issues on this, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a fucking slog getting through all three, like the other two, and then getting to this one. It's just like I don't care. The Ramon's art is really good. He does stuff like he does weird stuff with it, and I think it's interesting. Like
Nice.
there's stuff that they do with panels in this book, not just this one too, but the other two I read. That's like, oh yeah, this is really neat. I like seeing that. The story I just cannot give a fuck about. And like I'm gonna drop this book. Like I should have done it 3 months ago when I wasn't, reading it. I just had them. Because it's
Yeah,
just like it feels like it's trying way too hard. And I'm just like, I don't care.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go 4.5 out of 10. And I apologize, but boy, I am not gonna be picking that book up anymore, my guy.
It's all right. You don't need to apologize.
You're like, I don't want Side Superior to make any money.
Okay. Green Arrow number 14 by Joshua Williamson. And oh man, where is the credits page?
Don't you love that? It's like that's the one thing that Marvel does. That's just I think they usually do it right, where it's like they actually have that page where it's like these are the people that did this book.
Yeah, it's usually right in the front.
Yeah. And then DC's like, we'll put it where we feel like it.
Yeah, this one's on like page like 10, legitimately. It's
So
crazy.
so dumb.
Anyway, it's by Joshua Williamson, Amanke Nahuelpan. We got to figure out how to pronounce their name. We butcher
Yeah.
that every time. And then Sean Izaxi. So this is an absolute power tie-in. It was actually really cool because it was just all about the Arrow family trying to track down Professor Ivo because they were like, well, if Waller is using an army of Amazos, then surely Professor Ivo has something to do with that. So let's go kick his ass and make him help us. So we've got Ivo. He activates the Tomorrow Woman. There's a big fight. We get a little bit of Green Arrow at the Waller compound, but not much. And then we've got Connor stepping up to take the Green Arrow mantle over while Ollie's being a dipshit. So it was good stuff, man. For like I said, for an absolute power tie-in, it was rather enjoyable. So I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
I just think how funny would it be if like they kick down Ivo's door and he's just like sitting at home like in his robe and he's like, what? And they just punch him in the face. It's like, I'm just a scientist. I don't know what's going on.
I would have loved that.
Okay, so Godzilla Skate or Die issue 2 by Louis Joyce. It's fun. I mean, a bunch of these little hooligans are trying to save their spot. Godzilla and Varan are just kind of like on a, on a crash course for it. This part was kind of funny, made me like Godzilla's jumping out of the water and the guy's like, oh, and he's like, oh, it's fine. And then nope.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it looks great and it was also just funny. Like the book's good. I'm still like, what made this guy decide to get Varen as the other monster? Because it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm loving it. And I think Varen was one of those like monsters that's designed so cool, but his movie sucks so hard. And
Yeah.
it's mostly because it's like Toho, it was supposed to be like a made for TV movie that America was working with Toho to do, but then the money kind of ran out. America's just like, well, we'll just use stock footage and shit and slap something together, and it's not a good movie. I guess the Japanese version is supposed to be a little bit better, but it's still not. that great. But then this is so there's the thing they're trying to save, and there's the two monsters. I mean, that just they did such a good he did such a good job with this.
Makes me want to pick it up.
Yeah, dude, I would recommend it. Yeah, I think you'd have a fun time, but you also are reading too many damn books.
Yeah, I know. It always makes me so happy to see the word Screonk on the page.
Yeah,
I think it's
I
great.
love it. So yeah, I mean, like
Also, I bet that that guy probably was like you, was like, man, this character looks cool. I'm going to write him into this book and actually make him cool.
it very well could be, or it could just be like, because I'm not gonna lie, Varen has kind of a cult following, so it could very well be that too. Because like I remember reading an IMDb thing where like someone listed their favorite kaiju movies, and Varen was number one, and then he was talking about like destroy all monsters because the costume for Varen got destroyed, and so like in that movie, all they had left was the puppet that would fly around. So they're like they just like when they're fighting Ghidorah, you just kind of see Baron flying around, not doing anything, and then he kind of lands. It's like, okay.
That's awesome.
Like same thing happened with Baragon. Like Baragon, they had stock footage of, but they couldn't do anything else with it because the costume was destroyed. So there's a part where they're like, Baragon's attacking France or whatever. And it's actually Gorosaurus. They're just like, oh, we'll just use Gorosaurus instead. But I'm probably at a 9.5 for this book.
Excellent. Pick of the week.
Uh yeah, so I mean, I don't really remember what I was saying when I said not quite, but
Okay.
but
But not
yes.
not pick of the week. That's what you're
Yeah, it's
saying.
not pick of the week. It's super enjoyable though. And it might be actually might be pick of the week. I'm not sure. Like, I had a pick of the week last time I had this book, so it's like I don't really know if I want to
Ah,
do a back-to-back pick of the week, but it's really good. The art's like I said, I love the art. Some of the people in it, like they kind of look wonky, but it fits, you know? And yeah, it's just really good. 9.5.
all right. The Sacrificers by Rick Remender and Andre Lima Arroyo. So this issue was all about um, Saluna, who was the daughter and princess of the gods, like the main god in charge. Um, her dad is like the sun, their mom's the moon. So since she ran away several issues back, we finally circled back to her and what she's up to. And she's been infected with some like crazy, almost like the the symbiote or whatever. It doesn't like envelop her skin, but it's just like this black whatever that crawls out of her mouth when she's asleep and like starts killing everything, which is pretty cool. And then, spoiler alert, I know nobody else but me is reading this. She's like dying out in the snowstorm out in the woods. And someone's like, oh, you look like you could use some help. And she looks up, and the final page reveal is that it is Pigeon's family, who we all thought was like long dead. So I am very interested to see what happens when Pigeon finds out that his parents, who he just went on a revenge fucking killing spree about, are still alive. So pretty fucking awesome book. It's a 9 out of 10. I love the Sacrificers.
Right on, man. All right, Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives by Dan Water, Ram V, and Matthew Roberts.
Wish you wouldn't have
So
said that as I took a drink.
I do that joke mostly for you. But yeah, so it picks up where the last one left off. The the cartel guys are in the forest trying to find the old killer guy, and the girl's there, she's captured. And yeah, then we also get to, the Black Lagoon creature shows up and big old fight happens. It's pretty dope. Like it's pretty sweet. I mean, you dropped it after 2 issues. The series is for um Yeah, like the back two issues are way better than the front two. So like this is probably an 8.5. It's really good. Series as a whole, I'm gonna be like probably a 7 overall because it's like the first two were just kind of like eh, and the back two were good, you know. So it's just like for a two like the two issue story, they did so much setting up in the first two. It's like kind of weird that you did it this way, guys. But otherwise, I really liked it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it ended on the high as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah.
Okay, Vengeance of the Moon Knight, number 7 by Jed McKay and Alessandro Capuccio. This issue was fucking cool. Tigra and Hunter's Moon hire the Wrecker to go and break Khonshu out of the Asgardian prison that he's in. So,
Which one's the Wrecker?
Crowbar.
Crowbar. Okay.
Yep. Uh, and in classic Jed McKay fashion, this B, maybe C list villain, however you perceive the Wrecker. It's just funny. He's not
Hmm.
there for very long, but while he's there, he makes a lasting impression because Jed is a really good writer. So he's there, he cracks a couple of jokes, breaks out Khonshu, and then the rest gets so cool. I'm about to spoil the shit out of this issue. Um, okay, first off, like this is the like I am free, and that shot is just so cool above
Hmm.
Asgard in the light of the moon. And they go back to Khonshu's realm, where Khonshu resurrects Mark. So Mark and Tigra have a nice little moment there. Um, Mark gets a new Moon Knight costume. It's not so different, but it's still pretty fucking cool. It's really hard to mess up a Moon Knight costume.
Hmm.
And Khonshu's like, okay, now that everybody's back, Mark is going to take a squad of zombie past Moon Knights. Hunter's Moon is going to take a squad, and Tigra's going to take a squad. Go help everybody in Blood Hunt, like fight the vampires. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, dude, this book is so cool. And then they also convince the Wrecker to help too, because Moon Knight was like, "Oh wow, I didn't know the Wrecker backed down from a fight." And Wrecker's like, "Well, I don't, so I am gonna join," which is just kind of stupid and
Yeah.
funny. Um, so yeah, it'll be concluded in Blood Hunt 5, which is out this next week, and then one more issue of Vengeance before everything goes back to normal in his ongoing book. So this was a very easy 10 out of 10, and it's definitely my pick of the week.
Nice. With the Moon Knight or with Wrecker be able to get into Asgard like that, you okay with that? Like you're like, oh yeah, he should be able to do that because he used to be a Thor villain. I think he was a Thor villain,
He was
like
a Thor
early on.
villain. Yeah, because his crowbar is Asgardian. It
Yeah,
was
it's like
just
Loki,
fashioned.
right?
Yeah, it was just fashioned into a crowbar. So he just goes up to the chains. They're like Uru chains or whatever that's over Khonshu's door and just muscles it and breaks the chains off. So,
I gotcha.
it's just it was gonna have to happen one way or the other. Like Khonshu
Hmm.
wasn't gonna stay a prisoner on Asgard forever, and Mark
Yeah.
wasn't gonna stay dead forever. So I'm glad that it was done this way.
Now, from here on out, when we say Uru, can we do it like the
Uru.
yes?
Yeah, we
Because as soon
can.
as you said that, that was where my brain automatically went.
Record-chan, please break these Uru chains.
Oh Lord, that's probably the dumbest thing y'all will hear this week. All right, so Godzilla versus My Morphin Power Rangers 2 by Colin Bunn. with art by Valdemar Rivas. Um, this is fine. Like it's very Power Ranger heavy and less Godzilla heavy. So, it is what it is that way. Like I would have preferred more Godzilla. Like that's basically like my one complaint, but it's cool. We get a Kaiju Megazord at the very end, and Green Ranger's got Godzilla powers, and the rest of the Rangers have different Kaiju powers too, and they're fighting the other monsters. It's like I'll show you this part because this was kind of fun. It's the Kaiju
Uh,
Zords or
yeah,
whatever. It
that's
was
nice.
pretty neat. I enjoy it, but it just was like the last issue was a lot more fun than this one, and this was kind of like the less fun version of the last issue, basically. So I'm gonna go 8 out of 10.
Nice. I've got our three Miuchis.
Same here, buddy.
Let's do Zatanna Turtles Batman.
Sounds good.
All right. Zatanna Bring Down the House, #2 by Mariko Tamaki and Javier Rodriguez. I like the first one and I like the second one. It was pretty cool. Art is really, really good, and it's nice to like actually have like a plot, you know? Like there was some
Hmm.
setup in the first one. This one they kind of get into it. So really curious about this character they're calling the Stranger, and this palace of casters that Zatanna's brought to, because all that is new as far as I know.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, anyway, I really liked it. What'd you think?
I was kind of let down personally. I don't like I love the art. I think the art is amazing. It's some of the coolest shit I've seen in a while. Like I just absolutely love it. But the way I don't like how Zatanna's really written in this, and then like
Hmm.
the stuff that they're doing, like it very much. So like Tamaki gets a lot of flack for doing self inserts where she writes all of the like writes a character, like Zatanna is in this.
Yeah.
And she gets a lot of flack for it. It's just like, oh, this is more of the same.
Yep.
So like it was kind of that was annoying. But that art is so good. And that's really my main gripe is I don't like how Zatanna's written. She doesn't feel like Zatanna at all. She feels, like I said, more like the way Tamaki writes at least one character in every book she writes.
I don't disagree. There was one part in particular, um, like that big fucking fight happens and she nearly dies, and then I can't find what it was, but she says like a really stupid line.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn, like that's what you're saying after you nearly died?
Was it, I guess, thanks for saving me, and now I have to get a new job?
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was now I have to get a new job. It's like, bro, come on. Like, what are you talking about? But
Hmm.
that was like the big error for me in this issue. I absolutely agree with what you're saying about how she's written. Um, However, like I said, haven't really read a lot of her solo stuff. I just know her from, team books like Justice League and Justice League Dark, which she's way better written in that
Oh,
book.
dude, she
Um,
was a fucking beast in that book. Like
yeah,
so awesome.
yeah, she was. So it is a bit of a bummer that she's not more like that, but I also recognize that this is going to be very much set outside of any continuity that we know. So I'm just enjoying the art,
Yep.
and the story's good enough. So that's my defenses on why I'm liking it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I first off, that art could make about any book palatable. And this is like a passable story, but it's just like it doesn't feel like any Zatanna I've ever read. And it's not that, and it's not like when we talk about Batman Dark Age, it's not like Mark Russell's Batman where it's like he's establishing this stuff. It's like we weren't really like the way the last issue was done, she didn't really, they didn't really establish too much, and this was more the establishing issue. And it's like, oh yeah, this Zatanna doesn't seem like Zatanna. She doesn't know magic. She's gonna learn not from her dad. She's gonna learn from these other people. It seems like it's just kind of, you know,
I'll say this.
not my cup of tea.
I don't understand Zatara's continuity. It's very much like Hawkman or Wonder Woman, where sometimes he's around and he teaches her, and other times he's a shit dad, and I just don't know. I don't know what to make of him.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Not that that means anything about this book, one way or the
Hmm.
other. It's just like, what a, what's the deal with that guy?
What's the deal with Zatara?
Yeah, exactly.
I think so. Like, I'll just say with like the established continuity of if we're just going with the main universe stuff, as far as like what I remember from the um Justice League Dark, he was a good dad, I
Hmm.
think. So I think that's kind of like the most recent stuff. So that's the most established continuity about it. I think he was like an absentee dad, though, if that makes sense. Like he wasn't a bad one, but he also really wasn't there because he was planning about 50 different things that popped up in Justice League Dark that then you're like, oh, he wasn't such a bad guy type
Right.
of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Where you at with it?
I probably had a 7.5.
Yeah. I'll give it an 8.
All right. So next up, it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, issue one by Jason Aaron and Joelle Jones on the art. Can I just ask you, dude, why was the other book why is this issue one and the other book wasn't issue one? Because it's still like only focus on one turtle. Like, well, I don't understand that.
I wish I could tell you. I don't
Okay.
know.
All right. But outside of that, what'd you think of this issue?
Well, they started with my favorite. Um, I liked it. It was brutal.
Hmm.
Raph is kicking ass. Never thought I'd see Joelle Jones draw turtles. It's awesome looking. Uh, I'll definitely be sticking with it, man. I liked it.
Oh yeah, dude. No, I absolutely loved it. I'm really curious what the people that have been reading IDW Turtles this whole time thought about it. But yeah, no, it's super good. I I'm really interested in what Jason Aaron's doing here. I didn't get to talk about it on here because I was a knucklehead and forgot about it. But I'm I love this issue. I love the last issue. This is just good. Like the fight scenes are awesome. It's just great stuff.
Yeah, I hope Joelle Jones does more because man, she just makes Raph look so fucking
Right?
badass. Like the whole fight sequence with the ninjas. I mean, gosh, it was cool. And
Right.
then this was my favorite page where he's just crouched in all of his gear, just
Yeah.
looking awesome.
And then the best part too is we don't get the another weird mutant story that we don't care about.
Yeah, for sure. I also picked up this variant just because it was Raph centric and I thought it was cool.
That is awesome.
So yeah, that's like a I'm gonna give it a 9. Like if it weren't for Moon Knight, it'd probably be my pick of the week.
I'm gonna probably go with a 10 and make that my pick of the week. I really, really liked it. It's like it's fun to be excited about the turtles again because like
You've been
with the
wanting to for
I
years
know
now.
it's just like that's one of those things where it's just like, boy, the IDW stuff, I hear it was awesome, but there is a lot of stuff that I would have had to have read to catch up. Boy, howdy, it sounded intimidating.
Hmm. Only 150 issues.
Yeah, not too crazy. At least this is a good jumping on point for us.
All right. And then the final thing that we read was Batman Dark Age Book 4 by Mark Russell and the Allreds. I have liked every issue of this book, and this one's no different. I thought it was great, honestly.
Yep.
I just
Uh,
like how Russell writes all of these characters.
Yeah. No, it's really good. There's one part that I wanted to bring up. Um, oh, the one thing I hated is the Riddler's costume. Like, Allred, what are
Yeah.
you doing? I
Yeah.
hate that. I hate it so much.
Yeah. Agreed. It was very goofy. I
That's like
thought,
the worst comic book costume I think I've ever seen. Like, it's so bad.
yeah. Yeah, it
What'd you
is.
think of the way he wrote your boy Dick?
I thought it was good. It's like, this is its own thing.
Yeah.
So it's whatever. He's gonna do things a little bit differently, but not so differently. I mean, based on what Dick is doing, running with a really bad crowd because his parents are dead, it's like, yeah, he's probably gonna be a little bit of a shithead, you know?
Yep. Yeah, no, I agree. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty neat. Oh, it's like there's some like little things here and there that I wasn't super hot on. I'm trying to think. Oh, because it's like so we got old Bruce, we get the past, and he's like thinking back to the past and stuff. But the last two issues, they were setting stuff up with that one dude, the guy that was also in the Superman one, and blink on his name. He was from Crisis.
Oh, Pariah.
Yeah, and they're like setting stuff up with Pariah, and this issue's like he's not even in
Mm-hmm.
it. So it's like the kind of like what I'm assuming is the overarching story just hadn't it's like yeah, it was just bypassed in this book. And that's like my one complaint
Yeah.
besides Riddler.
I'm curious, it must be a 6 issue thing because like they definitely can't wrap it up in one more issue.
Yeah.
But also I can't imagine this being like a maxi series. So
Yeah. Wait, how long was the Superman one? Was it 6 issues? Two?
4.
Four? Oh
Yeah.
shoot.
Yeah, maybe no, actually, it was 3. I think it was 3 issues.
Really? I thought it was more than that.
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure. I could be way off on that.
Yeah. But while you're checking, I'll give
3
my
issues.
3 issue. That's crazy.
Yep.
I thought it was more than that. But I'll say for me it was probably a 9. I liked it, but just didn't love it.
Um, I'll give it a 9.5.
All right. So what are you excited about though, buddy?
We're both gonna say it. Saga.
Yep.
It's finally back again for the third time. Hopefully we get a proper arc in a timely manner.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say Blood Hunt number 5. And then it's either gonna be the best thing ever or the worst thing ever. But what if Donald Duck became Wolverine?
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, I was gonna make the joke. I was like, oh, you gonna get that one? But this is a lighter week for me. I kind of surprised you didn't say Immortal Thor. That cover is awesome.
It is awesome. I hope that that's actually part of the book.
I don't think it will be.
Yeah.
Because Alex Ross, I don't think they tell Alex Ross what's going on in any of the books he does the covers for. I think he's just like yeah, here's do a cover, and he's like, okay, can I do Hercules? Like, yeah, arm wrestling, sure, why not? But I'm gonna go Helverine, Godzilla Rivals versus Manda. You gonna check that out since you're like, I think Manda looks super cool.
Fuck yeah, I am.
Right on. I hope they actually draw the backgrounds. And then Saga. Like this will be like one like there's stick figures on the inside. You'll be like, wow, this is what IDW is doing. All right, since we're gonna talk about it, but Deadpool Wolverine came out. It's kind of king of the cameos, but maybe this Doom War is gonna be, even more cameo heavy. So give me 4 cameos you want to see in the upcoming Avengers Doom War.
Um, I would want to see probably the guy that played Doom in
Yeah,
the first Fantastic Four movie
and the second one.
and the second one. I mean, I doubt that that happens, but we'll see. Um, Gosh, feel free to chime in. I have not had enough thoughts about this yet.
Yeah. So I was thinking one of the ones I think would be kind of neat if we got like the Council of Reeds, because there's been talks about that. So if we had, we have to get Pedro, then John Krasinski, and then the dude from the original, like from the, or and then Miles Teller too. Just toss him in there. We get, all of that, and then like anyone else, since they're going like, they all look different in every universe. Just do whoever.
Yeah.
I think that would be neat. Trying to think of someone else that would be kind of cool that we haven't seen in a while. Um, let's say, oh, how fun would it be if we got Terrence Howard and uh like all the
Eric Bana.
Hulks, Eric Bana, and then Edward Norton, and I mean, I feel bad saying this because he's an old man, but Sir Ian McKellen.
Hmm.
Because it's like when he was Gandalf in The Hobbit, because like when he was Gandalf in Lord of the Rings, I'm like, oh yeah, he looks fine. And then like Gandalf in The Hobbit, though, I'm like, oof, buddy, you're looking 100. And he's like, well, I am 97. Be like, oh, fair enough, my guy.
Yeah, it'd be pretty tough, but man, I loved him as Magneto.
Yeah, it's like he made those movies. Like him and Patrick Stewart were just too good for those movies. Like, I mean, not really, for the most part, all the actors in those movies were too good for how shitty those fucking movies were.
Yeah. You like X2 though, don't you?
X2's good, but it's still like, you know, not like it's not that good of a movie, but it's like the best of the X-Men movies. It's like one of the things I was thinking about, and this is a little bit off subject, but the Spider-Man movies, except for Spider-Man 3, which I'm just not a fan of, really hold up. It really kind of like varies on how much you like Tobey Maguire's acting, because
Hmm.
he kind of hams it up. But and I blame Sam Raimi for just liking the source material and being smart enough to make it like make the trope, like the stuff that wouldn't work in a movie, just cut, and trimming the fat and like actually making it like the comics though, where X-Men was just like, no, no, we need leather suits and we need to completely change shit. And like some of it, I'll say this, Magneto's helmet, they added that for the movie. That wasn't a thing in the comics, prior. So it's like they did that for the better, but the rest of it, no.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really have anything to add, man. We
Yeah.
just talked about several there, and any of those I think would be cool to see. So
Ooh, do you want to see Topher Grace's Venom?
why not?
Because I remember when he was casted, you're like, Eric from that '70s show is Venom. How could it get any better?
Yep, that's definitely what I thought.
Like, all I need now is Ashton Kutcher to play fucking,
Carnage.
yeah, lights Venom on fire. He's like, burn.
Well, damn, Venom, I can't control the weather.
Well, let us know down below, guys. What cameos would you want? Are you like, I would really like to see Jubilee from the X3. You remember that cameo? Do you remember that one?
Actually, yes, I do.
Okay, because it's like Jubilee. What's going on? They're like, we're down here. That's it.
Right. One I would want to see though, after you say that, Vinnie Jones is the Juggernaut.
Yeah. That was a I mean, like I get why they didn't because it's like he's probably what, you know,
60
yeah,
something.
probably pushing in the 60s now. So it's like I get why they didn't have him, but you know, I still thought he was hilarious.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell them what else to put down below before we sign off.
Just tell us about your day, I guess. Like tell us what cameos, tell us what
Oh,
you're gonna buy. Huh?
sorry, go ahead.
Tell us what you're gonna buy from Super 7 with our
And
affiliate code.
what your favorite San Diego Comic-Con announcement was.
Ooh, yeah, tell us that too.
All right, guys. Well, we'd love to stay in chat, but I have to go pull Casey out of a hat. So we'll catch you next time. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Two Worlds Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Two Worlds Pod, on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC, and on Facebook at facebook.com/twoworldspodcast. You can email us with any questions or comments at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com, and if you would, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube.